Hey everybody, welcome to webinar number 5 of our webinar series that we started about a month ago. And today we have two things going on. In the first hour, we have got Charan/Charlie and Levin talking to us about the circular supply chain management and from ideation to impact. Then we have a 20-minute Q&A. And after that, we are going to have a Deeptech startup talk for 1 hour. Open the floor for the questions. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Charlie to share with us about the circular supply chain management. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, you can start sharing whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, thank you, Aslan, and thank you, Levin, for inviting me for today's talk. And I'm glad to be here. And I practically do my stuff along supply chain, and I'm glad that Levin kind of invite me to write about a book about circular supply chain. So, and today I'm going to cover two topics that looks or seems similar, but not really. And I would tell you in a little bit more details, but since we have only 20 minutes, so I would like to cover some of the things that I think are very important to know. Okay, so I'm Charlie. My name is rather long, so I am with the Department of Production Engineering and also the Graduate School of Management and Innovation at King Mongkut's University of Technology, Thonburi, here in Bangkok, Thailand. And I'm going to cover 4 topics in 20 minutes. So that's my, I'll try that. And also I will talk about general supply chain and the 3 flows that people need to know and realize that there are these things along the general supply chain, or we call it linear or forward supply chain. And then I'll quickly dive into circular economy, the values that customer wants. And I think I want to emphasize on the values. I know that some of you are younger generations, and some of you are trying to be entrepreneurs, which I admire that. But I would like to emphasize on certain things that makes circular economy works, and also in general supply chain as well. And also, what is the building blocks? How can we move from linear supply chain to circular supply chain? All right. So what is supply chain? When we talk about supply chain, we are imagining there are several parties involved. It can be from suppliers, which could be from domestic suppliers or overseas. And these people come together, deliver some raw materials so that certain manufacturers would go ahead and process them. And then sometimes it needs to be further processed along the line. Before it comes to us as a consumer, it may need to be stored somewhere else. Sometimes it needs to be, we call it cross-dock, meaning that it comes in a bunch, and then we have to break bulk, make it smaller bunch, and then deliver to us. And sometimes it goes to an intermediate party, which is stores, and that's possible as well. Because if it's delivered from a manufacturer, it could be in a large bulk that we don't consume it all. So it has to come to a smaller shop, a retail shop, and then we buy it from a retailer, and so on and so forth. And you see that along the way, there are so many parties involved. And believe it or not, they sometimes don't like each other. Why do I say that? Because each of them are trying to make the most out of what they have or what they deliver. They want to make the most money out of it. So they want to buy it a cheaper price and sell it at a more expensive price. And each of them are doing their own duty in making profit. So eventually we'll get a product that everyone they pocket some of the money along the way. And eventually once they sell it, and that's it. Sometimes there are an after sale warranty. So they have to take care of some of the products, but usually once they sell it, it's out of their hand, it's your own responsibility. So that's a linear supply chain. Although they don't like each other, but what makes things go round is material flow and the money itself. If there's no money, there's no sustainability in terms of the long lasting of the business. And there is a lot of time material flow. You probably wonder, what about service? It is, or it's usually, I would say usually, we deliver stuff or we service people, but along the way, we sometimes have material flow along with it. For example, you probably think of hospital, it's like a service, but it's actually not the pure service. It has medicines and it have, other things that need to be delivered along the way. And even though a majority of it is a service. And what makes things sort of all goes together is the information that's going on. And a lot of business is making profit by servicing information along the service, the service supply chain. For example, you probably see about Lazada or any shopping app, or maybe Agoda, those kind of things. They are selling information. Along the way, they give you information and then they make profit out of it. And that's their model. But then it becomes circular supply chain, which has a circularity of materials. And I would like to separate the material into bio-based material and other materials. Why is it so? Because bio-based material, it could be decomposed naturally. And other materials, it cannot, or it take a long time to decompose. So the circles of these two types of materials are different. And so the way that we make the profit out of it would be different. Why do I emphasize on the profit making? Because when you talk about circular economy, people a lot of time forget about the term economy. It would be just reverse supply chain, that you have to spend money to be able to circulate the material. You remanufacture or you recycle it, but that's a cost. But if you want to make circular economy works, you have to make profit out of it. You have to have a business model that a lot of times people forget about the economy part. So we have to make use of byproducts and waste and yet make profit out of it, not incur cost, additional cost. Well, does it work? It do work in some industries. For example, now people recycle plastic and make it a fabric. They even in Thailand here, a coffee shop, Pang, they also make a tote bag out of this recycled plastic fabric. And also Adidas also have shoes. Now they have many shoes that are made out of plastic recycled fabric. So in this case, they do have business out of it. You see, it's not just making charity out of these waste, but you making profit out of it. And in other model is, instead of having material leakage, why don't we make product as a service? For example, Philips, they do sell light bulbs, but at the same time, now they think, well, since there are a lot of light bulb leakage into the material leakage into the environment, why don't we sell lighting? They sell basically brightness or light but they don't sell light bulb. If they actually do it for a French airport, they sell lighting, so they provide lighting service for the entire airport. And when the light bulb, it's not functioning anymore, they take it away, recycle it completely 100% because they provide the service themselves. In this way, the airport doesn't have to stock different kinds of light bulbs, so they save cost, and they do want the lighting. They don't want to stock light bulbs. So it's win-win for both of them. And to make things work, it's not just a business, it starts from yourself. Being circular economy is good, but if we don't need to circulate anything at all, that would be even better. So how do we start? We start from reducing what we use, we reuse what we usually use, and then we remanufacture. Probably we send good or functioning stuff or materials to the manufacturer, and they rebuilt it with new or additional materials, and then make a product out of it that's remanufactured. And then recycle, you need energy usually to changing forms of the materials and then make new out of it. And then recover, so which is the most difficult part to do that, and we don't want that usually. Okay, so that's the basic or the fundamentals of supply chain, which is usually linear and also circular supply chain, that I would like to emphasize on the economy part of the circular economy. All right, so that's pretty much what circular economy and circular supply chain. Now I want to move on to something that is not usually addressed, but I think it's very important for any young generation to understand that to be able to make a business, you probably need to think about your customer more than yourself. Why is it so? Well, you have to think like a customer. What do they actually need? And you deliver the value that they want. Well, let me give you an example. You probably see a wallet or a purse. A wallet or a purse, you can buy it from anywhere. But why do people want a brand name purse? It doesn't make sense in terms of the function, but it does make sense if you think about it. What really these people want is not a purse. They want a purse that nobody else has. The exclusivity that make expensive purse business model work. The exclusivity that you have it, once you show it to your friends, your colleagues, then they know that you are special. Some of the brands, even though you have money, it's very expensive. Even though you have money, you cannot purchase it. You have to wait. And sometimes they don't sell it to you because you're not privileged enough. And that's privilege is what people want. See, what exactly your customer need is very important. And how do we know? Well, they have this model of sometimes it's just what people need. People need food. And next level of food is it has to be delicious. It has to look good. It has to smell good. See, you have different kinds of food, which sometimes it has to be even more than that is it has to be in an environment that is good. It feels good, not just the food that is already good, is edible and is good, looks good, smell good. It needs to be in an environment that delivers the nice food to you. And also now it has to be photogenic. The food has to be, once you take the picture, it has to look good as well, right? For younger generation. So you see these kind of what people want. You have to know exactly what your customer need or what your customer want. The need is the necessary. The want is something else than the necessary. Okay, and how do we know which one to deliver? At least you probably know from, okay, what's the customer sector, that's usually taught in school, but you probably think about the economy of that country as well. As the economy grows, people get richer and richer. They want something that is not just necessary. They want something more. That's probably something that you can tell from, okay, what's the situation of that country, and then what to be delivered to the customers. And also, you have to take a look at from the customer's perspective. You see something, but the customer may see a different thing, even though it's the same thing. So you have to look it from their perspective. Okay, well, this is a bad experience, but one thing that is a person that's close to me, my relative, with the COVID-19, he actually discovered, or he actually manufactured nanoparticles that can kill bacteria and also fungus. He's very happy. And as relatives, we tell him, why don't you test for viral? Is it against virus? It meaning it doesn't spread virus? And we don't know why he doesn't do the testing, even though he sent a sample to do the bacterial and fungus testing, that this nanomaterial can stop this bacterial and fungus. But we don't know why he doesn't test the virus testing. And if he did that, he would be able to sell it to a larger customers, right? Larger group of customers. And because he just think that his nano particles is just so good that people have to buy it, but actually no, good stuff, but it doesn't deliver the value, the correct values to the customer is no good, right? So that's an example that you have to explore, what are you selling to your customer, and is it what they really need, or it's what you want to sell? Is a different thing. You want to sell is something, does it answer that pain point, or your customer's pain point? Maybe it's not, right? You have to be careful on that. All right, so that's something that and by the way, this can be used for internal and external customers. These are external customers that they give you money once you sell these service or materials to them. But if you work in an organization, you can also think of customer as internal customer, what your supervisor needs. You have to read his or her mind. Usually what make them look good at work, that is usually what they want. They want some figures to be good, so you have to deliver that figure to him or her. Sometimes he or she wants your slides to be finished on time. You have to deliver those on time, those kind of things. And once you he or she wants some information, you deliver those information on time or before the deadline. That would make him or her looks good. That's the internal customer. So you have to position yourself to deliver those informations, those materials, or those goods to both internal and external customers. Okay, the last one that I would like to talk about is the building block. How would we make circular economy or circular supply chain work? Is first, you probably need to create a new, you have to identify the values. What value creation that the business or the product is offering. The value, how you're going to capture that and distribute to various parties. What is the value added that is delivering to your customer? It could be the same product, but you deliver additional values to your customer. That also works. Circular design, how to extend the usefulness of your materials, how to make it easier to disassemble. If it's difficult to disassemble, then it's difficult to recycle or reuse it again. Can you do and have an innovative way of offering the byproduct, make use out of it, like the plastic? How can we make it more and more of that kind of stuff? Maybe you have to re-engineer your materials. It doesn't exist. You have to make it exist. Those biodegradable plastic, it didn't exist before, but now it's common now. So you have to probably re-engineer to it. And also, I think Coca-Cola also is offering, I think recently, decomposable plastic can. So a plastic can that can decompose itself, not a very long time, for not a very long time period. So it's made of from, I think, sort of starch or some sugar base, those kind of things. I don't know exactly, but I have heard that, or I read the news that it's from these kind of materials. So it's decomposable by itself. Oops. Forward and reverse supply chain. Basically, supply chain is talking about efficiencies. You don't just deliver goods or service to your customer, but how to make things more efficient. Basically, economically make it cheaper for everyone. So you look for efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, it could be return service, customer service, or material leakage. Look for material leakage points, and look for assessment. How can we assess whether we deliver or we recycle? How many percentage that we can do those kind of things? It's called service level. And environmental and social consideration. How can we integrate these issues into our business as usual? Can we do a more sustainable business? Can we reduce some of the materials that we need to reduce, or make use out of the recycled materials? So those kind of things are environmentally and socially, and sometimes it's just the same business, but make it with socially friendly or socially more impactful. That's also work. Same business model, but with the impact, extended impact for society. And also the infrastructure. How can we rethinking of the financial model? How we can make the money out of the model that we have, and so on and so forth. Okay, and digital transformation. That's also something that people are looking forward to. All right, so that's all I have today. I think I do a 21 minutes talk. So these are information that, if you want.
One slide here on just one aspect of circular supply chain, which is the packaging, how we could circulate reusable packaging. Just how do I get this thing out of my way? Yeah, okay. Actually, excellent talk, Charlie. I always learn something new listening to you. So we talk a lot about plastic. Last week we covered plastic eliminators, Ghostbusters. Now, how do we get rid of plastic, minimize plastic? And then we know that we use plastic packaging every single day. And a lot of us use e-commerce a lot, right? In order Lazada, Shopee, even myself, I do the same. And we always end up with so much packaging waste. Now, how do we keep the packaging in circulation to minimize the waste at the end of the day? I remember I think I went through the life cycle thinking methodology. So always start with extraction and exploitation of natural resources. Then you have the packaging producer producing the packaging and supply to the product producer, say shampoo. Somebody make the shampoo bottle, shampoo producer, put the shampoo in the shampoo bottle. Then you have I call it primary packaging, which is the shampoo bottle. Then if you say, okay, then let's switch to beer. So you drink beer, you buy a 12 carton dozen of beer. It's packed into with a paper or sometimes plastic wrapped around it. That's secondary packaging. So there's a lot of packaging. By the time it reaches to the shop, say Tesco Lotus, and Tesco, and then you buy, two ways to buy this beer. You buy from Tesco Lotus directly if you don't use any more further secondary packaging, and or you buy from the e-commerce platform, shipped to you door to door. Then in that process, there is transit packaging and transfer packaging. So see, so much packaging, a lot of packaging over there. Then it reaches the consumer, you and I. And after we use the packaging, now usually we throw it. It's end of life. But imagine if we could use reusable ones, and they can be, I call it, instead of end of life, we call it end of use. And you can deposit these reusable packaging to a dedicated box, say in 7-Eleven. Imagine there's a circular bin, like what Pram was saying yet last week, green to get people, right? If you could recover them, and then reverse logistic will collect them and clean them, repair if this is necessary, and then it will resupply to the product producer and keep the whole packaging in circle. In this case, I will feel better because I don't feel like I'm throwing away packaging every time I'm buying something. So that's sort of in my my framework called circular or packaging circularity. Then overall, I actually this morning I watched a DW documentary. The title is what is it? The ocean plastic recycling is a lie, something like that. Yeah, many brands these days, really do a lot of greenwashing, telling people that their bag or some of their products actually made from recycled plastic from the ocean. So the truth is, it's so difficult. It's just all greenwashing. So I encourage you, I will send you the video. I want you to watch it. It's not very long, 5 minutes. The bottom line is we really have to reduce. We think that we're going to be recycling things that we collected and get thrown away and collected, and we assume they're recycled, but not. Even yesterday when we participated in the Trash Lucky event, I donated a different type of plastic that I collected over a month. And one of them is a PET bottle, which I bought from Italy. And I bought the olive oil, and olive oil is packed in this PET bottle. And guess what? Nat told me that cannot be recycled because of the contamination, because it's got oil inside. So we all assume, I assume that if it is PET, it will be recycled, but because the fact that it's contaminated, he can't take it. So reduce is the only way for us to save the planet, to clean up the planet. So please try to reduce. But anyway, so that's sort of a quick, how do I get rid of this thing? How do a quick sort of relate to what Charlie has talked about on the circular supply chain, specifically on packaging. So I just want to run through maybe 5 minutes if I can. Now we've gone through, this is our 5th week now. We've gone through many sessions with a lot of you, not all of you, some of you may not have booked a time with us. And we always start, remember when I talked to you, when you talked to me the first time, I always asked you and ask all my students about what you care about. You know, what, how do I do slideshow here? Present, right? Present view, okay. So can you guys see the present view? I've never done this before.
No, not that. So you go back.
So how do I do? So reset, how do I? Yeah. So is this okay though?
Yeah.
This one? This is okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm terrible with this. Yeah, so you guys remember, I always ask you, what's your passion? What do you care about? What problem you want to solve and address? And this is really something that's very, very very first discussion that we will have usually when we talk about entrepreneurship, when we talk about why you're here participating in our training and in our events. So we want you to discovering your passion. It may not happen today. Sometimes STEAM platform has run through workshops on that, specifically on discovering your passion. So some of you may not even know your passion, but you got to go through that journey to find out what you care about, what makes you wake up every day, and what drives you, motivates you every day moving forward. Then when you find a problem, then you want to solve this problem. Oh, okay, how do I do that? Okay, here we start. Then we need to analyze the problem. Now, this is really when we analyze the problem, we really use our STEM approach or STEAM approach, which is really dig. I'm a physicist by training. I always wanted to understand, when I see something, I want to understand what is this everything made of, go all the way to the atomic level, electronic level, and to understand how each atoms, each molecules interact with each other. So this is sort of my first principle approach in understanding problems, to really get to the root of the problem. Now, how do we do that? We have gone through the value chain and supply chain analysis with you. If you haven't done that, you really should come to us for mentoring session. And we did our stakeholder analysis as well, because stakeholder is, when you look at the value chain and supply chain that Charlie also mentioned, now the stakeholders are the people behind, are the most important elements in the whole game. So how the dynamics of people in the whole value chain and supply chain, and what the dynamics, how would that relate to the problem? And also looking at the local and global situation, not just worrying about, like, our pollution in Thailand could cause the pollution elsewhere. If you burn your forest or burn your trash, the smoke can go to other countries, or other countries burning, like in Laos, in Cambodia, will contaminate your air in Thailand as well. So we are in a global world. Zoom in and zoom out. So we went through this already in our earlier classes. And critical thinking, we did that also with you guys. And who will benefit and who will pay for it. Now, when I will go through my STEAM platform journey with you, how we initiated the STEAM platform, the whole journey. It was a long journey. I'll share with you how we think through, follow through these steps, and be ready to be wrong and fail. Do not think that you will succeed. Would never. I make so many mistakes. I have set up, in fact, in the early days when I started to think about having my own company, I have set up one company and I had to dissolve it, and then set up another one, I have to dissolve it. So I make many mistakes. I partnered with the wrong people, and yes, just restart again and again, and be very agile, and be ready to adjust and to change, adapt. And of course, now we are doing strategic thinking, strategic communication with you guys. And this is a very critical element. And always build your alliance and keep trying and learning. The whole journey of solution design is really a learning process. We have to keep learning, keep trying. And sometimes we might have to give up and do something else and come back for a while. And this is also my own journey as well. Now, different motivation for setting up. Why would I need to set up a company? Sometimes it's not necessary, but why people set up company when it's there has to be a critical reason for that. Now, sometimes as a customer say, okay, I want to pay you to do this, and either I pay you as individually, or I pay your company. So normally, if you have already a customer, and for tax convenience, and also for the convenience of paying other people to work together with you, it makes sense to set up a company. And depending on the circumstances where you are, like in Singapore, in Hong Kong, it's very easy to set up a company. That's where I set up all my companies in those countries. And for today, I still have not set up a company in Thailand, because the system here does not motivate me to set up a company. That's why I'm still affiliated with the university. And so you have a project, you can either do R&D, the customer will ask you to do an R&D, or do a product development, or provide a service. consulting service, for example. And then and you provide or business development services. And at the end, then do you want to, at some point, you want to scale up, you want to raise funding to scale up, to have more capitals. So then that's how you you seek funding to proof of concept, to seek funding to pilot a program. Then yeah, that makes sense to set up a company as well. Again, you have to look at the legal side of things. And to formulate a partnership, for example, if I partner, say, with Charlie to do something together, and it makes sense for us to set up a company for liability reasons, for also to legalize our relationship in delivering our services to our customer. Tax incentives is always there. And there are other reasons that I won't mention. There are people who have other reasons to set up companies. And I just wanted to quickly share with you how my journey of setting up a STEAM platform. It started actually before Thailand. So basically, some of you have heard my story. Back in 2014, I started teaching sustainability and nanotechnology at National University of Singapore. And at that time, of course, there's no need for me to set up a company. I was interested in training people, in changing the mindset of people, and to adopt nanotechnology to solve problems related to sustainability. And then I analyze the before I set everything up, I actually look at people who I could educate. At that time, university was very convenient because I lived nearby. And but over the years, I started not only educating undergraduate students, young people in their teens and 20s. Later on, I actually ended up educating adults through our engineering leadership program called Management of Engineering. So in that program, when I taught master degree students, all my students are different stakeholders. They are policymakers. They are from company to produce products. They could be consumers. They are all types of policy, corporate strategy, investors, all kinds of people. And so I got exposed to really different stakeholders who care about sustainability, and also wanted to know how within their corporation they could practice on entrepreneurship, or if they are independent, how they could set up their own business to solve problems using technology and engineering. So these are also very, very much STEM related people who wanted to solve problems related to sustainability within their corporation or in the society overall. Okay, and then so at the end, when I look at my purpose is really to empower people with knowledge and skills and entrepreneurship practices. So when I look at all these people that I have been interacting with, hundreds of students since 2017 that I have trained and educated, and I find many people lack purpose in the beginning, even though they have a motivation. They wanted to get a degree. So during that learning together with me, they find purpose, they define their purpose. Later on, they actually make programs within their corporation. They started their own company. So I see the impact over the years in Singapore. My students who have been through our training have brought the knowledge, brought the skills, brought the know-how to their career journey. And through NUS, and then I will also taught at Yale NUS, and I also experimented a program in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, and the last stop was KMUDT. So then that's where everything started to pick up. Now, why KMUDT and Thailand actually allowed me to now actually begin to scale this platform? Again, this country, I was very, very, I think I'm very lucky in the sense that I was able to interact with a lot of people who share the same purpose, same motivation, and who are also practicing sustainability, like our University Social Lab, for example, and Charlie also involved very much in the social lab. I could have people like Charlie, my colleagues in community, taught me a lot in this field. And when I put my ideas forward to the management and to my colleagues, I received a lot of support. So that's how I started having a funded program within the university, because people believe in my ideas and share my ideas, and they're willing to support me moving forward. So that is really, it's timing. It's you need the stakeholders around you to resonate with your idea and believe this will work, and to support you moving forward. So this is a you know, if you think about from 2017 to now, I mean, over 10 years of it, so not 17, sorry, 2004. So it's been 7 years. You know, it's a long journey. And of course, there are many times I was, you know, sometimes I mean, life is never smooth. I from time to time, I'll think about, oh, is this the right way to go? Should I give up? But this thing, just I keep meeting the right people, keep me going. So I think bottom line here is people are the core support for everything we do now for entrepreneurship, particularly. And to create impact, you got to have the people. Empowering people is most critical. So now just to summarize, how to, like when you want to scale your project, now we are in the phase of scaling up, and people, again, very important, the team, the sponsor, the partners, technology, we constantly, you know, adopt technology to scale, to make our operation more efficient. And we are constantly engaging partners. And we also ourselves practice strategic communication. If you look at our follow us on our YouTube channel, we continue to do these events. We continue to build content, build track record. This is how we keep on working and create impact. And financing. Now, financing, we're not fundraising for investors to make profit, but we seek financing in terms of a project to support our people moving forward. So now these are now I put out all these steps. Now they're not like 1, 2, 3 in order. It's a step that you always have to come back and start and come back, start and come back, and move forward and come back. So I think we're gonna, these are the, okay, I think this is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So identify a problem, analyze the problem. You got to do a lot of practice. You got to conduct your market research out there. We've gone through this already. Identify your customer, like Charlie mentioned, you've got to deliver your customer needs. Design your solution. The whole solution design it comes from the beginning as well. So there's no strict order in this. Okay, you got to have a revenue model. You got to know who's going to pay for it. I mean, pay for your own time, pay for your team, pay for all the expenses involved in doing what you're trying to do. You got to test your solution out there and come back and redesign, and keep on updating what's going on, because technology is moving very fast, product is developing very fast. You got to keep repeating the steps over and over and being very agile and always be critical and strategic. So this is really this from the last 5 weeks and moving until next week, we will complete our entrepreneurship program. And so our entrepreneurship program, we title it differently from other people. We say powered by STEAM and driven by sustainability. I hope you have learned something, but I think until you practice, you won't feel it. So I think what we like to hope to achieve next year, if we continue, is to do more practice with you. Now, in November, we will focus back on how to communicate your ideas, your solution, your business better. So we will end our program by a pitching session. All of you have 5 minutes to pitch your ideas to our panel of judges. So that will be on November 28th. So we have about 3 weeks to mentor you all. One-on-one, we will have our 2 more weeks classes, 14th and 21st, and to do more, so group class, and then we continue our one-on-one mentoring session with you. Okay, so this is not this program, so that's it. All right, so we have 5 more minutes. Sorry, I took up a lot
About
of
10
time.
minutes, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Levin. Excellent talk. I think you have very beautifully covered all the aspects of the business strategies and frameworks. And hope that was useful because lots of people here in the audience have ideas and they would want to have a startups, and some have the startups and they want to scale up. And I hope they find this talk very useful. Okay, so if anybody has a question, please start typing here or raise your hand so we can put you on a spotlight.
All right, so I'm just catching up with the chat board. Yeah. So,
Any question from Charlie or Levin? We've got about 10 minutes, I think.
do we have the second session people signing up already? Signing in already?
We do. I think we've got two of them.
Oh, okay, I can see. Yeah. But we can do a big wrap up later anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anybody with the startups would want to speak up.
What I sort of, if you guys don't speak, and I just wanted to share my observation. A lot of when I mentor a lot of you, I spoke to a lot of you in the last couple of months, I noticed that this is a common, you're not alone, so everyone else has the same issue, is not knowing what's happening in the same field or same sector. A lot of you don't know what's happening in Thailand. You know, like, you know, your and like I think Arslan, you mentioned the same thing earlier in your value chain analysis, and is also not knowing how to do comparative and competitive analysis. That is very common. There's nothing personal. This is like I've taught my students since 2007, so everybody have the same problem. But it's not difficult to actually learn how to do comparative analysis and competitive analysis. Just a few keywords and talk to experts, always talk to people, always communicate. I think the communication aspect is really critical. If you don't know things, I don't know, I'm not an expert in a lot of stuff, but I always talk to people. I always find experts to learn from, always learn from others. I mean, that learning is it's a life journey. So I encourage all of you to really keep asking questions. Always try to learn something new every single day. Honestly, if I don't learn something new every single day, I just feel dead. I mean, like, life is dead without learning. So that's also my feedback to a lot of you.
Excellent. Yeah, and also to add one more point on top of that, having done the comparative and competitive analysis, you need to understand the market as well. As Charlie was talking about in his talk, you know, if you don't have the customers, doesn't matter how big of the idea you have, you need to understand the market as well. So I think if Charlie would want to expand on that, that'd be great. Or
yes,
else.
right. I think I want to emphasize on the customer, because that's how the business is going to work without customer. It doesn't exist. And to make it work, you have to really think sometimes outside of the box, that they probably have what they already have, but what else do they really want? They want, like for a circular economy, I was talking to Levin, if you make things very difficult for people to recycle, that they have to travel very far to recycle their bottles, that doesn't work. You have to make it close to them, or don't make their life miserable. Make their life easier to help you. I'm sure that a lot of people would like to help. They don't even, you know, they can donate plastic bottles or aluminum can. For them, it's very easy. But don't make them their life miserable to travel very far. How can we make a drop box very close to where they go to work? If they use public transportations, bus stop and train stations would work for them, then and convenience stores, 7-Eleven even.
Yes,
make it easier for them to help you. I'm sure a lot of people do want to help. And also, believe it or not, a large conglomerate like Lotus, they are willing to help if you have good ideas, and they have a lot of stores. Now they even have more stores, smaller stores. They don't have just a large supermarket, right? How can we utilize these? It's good for their CSR.
Yeah.
And some models, we don't even think about it, but they do think about it. For example, I was talking, well, could we have a recycle center at their large store? They said, well, no problem. They would even hire disabled people to operate this center for us. So it's a win-win. They would love to talk to you, believe it or not. They're not that just money-seeking organization. They do want to talk to you. They are willing to discuss the new business idea. So you have to think of how to make it a win-win situation. For them, it's a winning. For us, it's a winning idea as well. And lots of people, believe it or not, your colleagues are good people.
Hey, so are we're going to start our next session? Okay, we have Jia in the spotlight. So Jia can show us really her amazing business model as well. So I think with our three amazing technopreneur here, this is going to be exciting because we talk about theories just now. We now will have the people who practice customer, focus on customer, how to deliver their amazing solution to save lives and to improve the life of people, improve manufacturing, and to make, I think, proud. You're going to talk about Yannick's making all these Marvel movies for us. Oh, you talk about other things. Okay, I'll leave it up to you. So shall we roll? Okay, is in recording? Is it recorded? Noon?
Yeah, it's being recorded.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. So you can put all of us. Can you put all of us in the spotlight? We got Proud. Okay, Proud's there. Okay. Pasawat. Hello, Oh yeah, here he is. Haven't seen you for ages. Oh my goodness. Excellent. So excited to have you guys here. I'm so grateful for you joining this panel. So do you guys have slides to share quickly?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So each of you can just start sharing your slides, and then we can go through to deep dive into your passion and your strategy and engaging customers and how you make impact and all these exciting things that you're doing every single day. Okay, so who want to start first? We're very flexible.
How about P-Proud start first?
Proud, you want to start first?
Okay.
All right.
Let's see.
Excellent. So, okay, guys, those of you who do not know our panelists here, so every single person here is a rock star. Okay, so Proud is I label everybody. When I introduce Proud, I said she's the robotic pioneer. Robotic pioneer. She's a pioneer in robotics in Thailand, and she's a co-founder of FEEBLE. FEEBLE is Field Institute of Robotic FEEBLE Research. Is it FEEBLE?
So the Institute of Field Robotics.
Field Robotics. And so I call her the rock star of robotics in Thailand. So, all right. So you go ahead. And let's see. Okay, I like the building too, those designs.
So let me introduce myself a little bit. So so I now having a company. So I'm the director of Yannick's, which is we call it a post-production company. So we work on Hollywood movies, but very specific part of it, which is match moving. And so I just give a short introduction about myself. So my name is Thawida. I think a lot of audience are Thai, so I'm just gonna speak Thai here.
Go ahead.
Usually, yeah. So I'm Ajahn Prao. Like a lot of people know me as Ajahn Prao. And I got my degree in electrical engineering from University of Washington in Seattle. And I also I've been working at Institute of Field Robotics at NTT for the last from 2000 to 2018. But even now, I'm still kind of a young professor. So I think I can say that I still work in robotics for 21 years now. And I used to be the president of like Thai Robotic Societies and also the IEEE Robotic Automation System Chapter Chair, which is like pretty much the representation of robotics in Thailand. But now I run my business mostly. So my company is Yanix. And let me show you a little bit. I have one slide to capture what I did as a roboticist. So basically for my career as a roboticist, I basically spend most time like building different type of robots and mostly mobile robots, but like the one that people kind of see as like more visible is the reception robot. So I commission a lot of reception robots for different companies. But my true passion is actually how to make the robot be in the real world. So in the last 20 years, we just like try to work on like how to make it basically can solve real world problems. So not only in the lab. And I'm actually in the kind of beginning process of starting a new company that's going to be working on agricultural robotics. So it's probably going to be a few years when we have the product came out into the market. But yeah, so that's my passion. But the other side of me, which is like more like how I can make money. so it's coming from the company that founded by my husband Chai in 1995. So when he started his company, which is also Yanix in America, but then he moved to Thailand. So in 2005, we kind of started the company in Thailand together, which is like Yanix in Thailand, and pretty much like a two-person company, so very small. So we started off in Thailand in 2005, about like 2 to 3 people, and then at the beginning, I hired like a couple of my grad students to work at Yanix. So our primary service is called mass moving, which is basically how can you calculate the position and orientation of a camera when they film a movie so that they can put objects, which is computer graphics, what we call CGs. So how can we put CG object into the real live action movies? And that's a very mathematical problem. It's not artistic at all. It's all about optimization. So our company found on the basics of engineering, not artistic. And currently we in Rama 2, and we grow to the size of about like almost 300 people right now. So we work with like a lot of clients in around the world basically, because now Hollywood movie not only in America. So it's like we have clients in America, England, Canada, or like Australia, New Zealand, for example. So that's our company right now. And what I just gonna finish introducing myself here then. So basically what I want you guys to understand is that our technology is developed in-house, and most of the people in the company are Thai. So we only have like, now we only have one person that has like British citizen, but everyone else is Thai citizen. So I want you to know that we have a company here in Thailand that we develop our own software. We didn't really buy like other kind of software from other company. So we develop it in-house, and we run by mostly engineer. So we have engineer and scientists being every high level department, like finance officer or HR. So everyone are like scientific mind. And that's really the core of our business, that we really try to push the business in a way that makes sense. And that's it, my introduction. Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Very STEM, huh? STEM team, yeah. But you STEAM actually, you also STEAM because you do art, right? I mean, okay, you use optimization, but your customers are artists.
Our customer are artists, and we also have to understand them. So we have the department inside that would do modeling or would do like visual effects, which is a little bit more artistic side of things, but mostly our engineering services.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
Fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, you guys, have you guys watched Black Panther? Actually, I when I watched Black Panther, I went through on the end, at the very end, you can find Yannick's. I was looking. Whenever I saw a Marvel movie, I have to see whether.
So if you guys want to see I cannot talk about the client, but I can tell you about the project that we got credit. So the latest one in that we got mentioned is the Mandalorian. So if you guys watch Mandalorian on Disney, and then the one that we got like big credit for is the Endgame, the Avenger Endgame, and Star Wars. Yeah.
Nice.
How about June? It just came out.
I cannot tell you.
The movie just came out in Thailand.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like we have a lot of clients.
Oh, sorry.
But we can only say like when the client
It's
put us
recorded,
in the credit. I actually have a footage, but if the program is recorded, I cannot show you guys what we were.
I'm sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry.
Oh, you can show after we stop recording. We'll stop recording during the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. So if there's no recording, I can show you some of the image. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Brilliant. All right, who wants to go next? Hey, Jai, you're looking very happy. You go.
Happy.
Jai is amazing. Jai is I always say people, look, in my neighborhood, Ban Wat, we have like this is a robot rock star, and I have an AI rock star. So I have the industry 4.0 here, right, in Ban Wat. This is why I'm still hanging out in KMUDT for so long. These people around. It's so much fun to hang out with these people. But say, Jai, so go share your amazing Perceptra, right? Perceptra. You have how many companies do you have now?
Just one. It's enough. Can I have a screen? Somebody has to stop. Give me the.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. Let me try to show you. You see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Yeah, Perceptra, right. All the logos. You have all the logos. Very problematic. Everybody's acknowledged.
Well, I can officially say that I am a faculty member at KMUDT as well as co-founder of Perceptra. I have a double position currently. So I guess I will be that kind of like the voice of young, just starting entrepreneur. Like, this is not an established company by any means. It's a startup, so it's still in the very early phase of Perceptra, my company. We want to be the AI platform for healthcare. So a little bit about me. I was a brain scientist. I was trained at Yale to be a brain scientist. So back then I do modeling on brain data, and it just had it's the early days of deep learning. So we use deep learning to model big data that recorded from the brain of monkeys, actually, in order to try to model how human brain works. So after a career in science as a scientist, I came back to Thailand and thinking that, I want to start doing something practical. I was like, the paper publishing was fun, but how about actually the real world? So I started a faculty position at FIBO, and I don't know, there's some nice things there that people like Piprao, there's other ajahns who are pursuing these exciting projects that actually got out in the real world. So I also caught a bug of practicality, I guess, and has started to thinking about like, okay, I know AI, the word AI is around. I wanted to do something. I challenged my students that, hey, how about we start taking on things, taking on the challenges of the world. And what if we can make AI that can impact millions of people? That would be our goal. So that's how it kind of started. And I just got around and get into a lot of initiatives at KMUDT, including the Big Data Experience Center, which was central to my career. There I was able to meet with a lot of organizations in Thailand that is starting to pick up big data and AI. And yeah, I guess I went out and just trying to solve problems using AI. So back then, financial institutes, telecom, retail companies are using AI. So I went there and just try to help them build a team, build a AI that was used. You might have touched on some of my AIs that I worked with the banks, like for example, the AI that actually introduce people, like recommend people deals on credit cards, stuff like that. So that's what the early days of my KMUDT career was all about that. I met with two co-founders. We have a lot in common. One of it was that like we all have lost our loved ones due to cancer that was detected way too late. And then we bonded over that problem. And my co-founders happened to be born and raised in hospitals. The dad is a doctor and the mom is a nurse. And I have AI knowledge. So we conceived the idea of Inspectra. So, and then we co-found Perceptra. So this idea of Inspectra was a AI for medical imaging platform. So it's a platform that will basically help doctors diagnose diseases faster using medical images like X-rays. We're working on some breast X-ray, which is mammogram. We're working on some CT scan images. So yeah, it's crazy for us to think that like we can take on such a thing, like well, we're gonna do a medical image AI. So when I first thought about it, it was crazy, but I don't know, one thing led to another. We decided to just go knock doors. We all under 35. Like at the time I started this, I'm like early 30s and my co-founders were early 20s. We just kids, basically. We were really young. So we go around, we went to Siraj Hospital, one of the Siraj medical school. So like the biggest medical school. And yeah, we just visit them a lot for a year until they're like, okay, we're gonna work with you. So we work with one of the biggest radiologist school in Thailand and developed the whole medical know-how and put expertise of those experienced doctors into our AI. So so that's part of the big milestone. And after that, we just, one thing led to another. We grow to a team of 12. We put the AI on cloud because we wanted, our goal is to make this technology accessible to everybody in Thailand, no matter where you are. And if you know the Thai healthcare market, the majority of people were poor people who were basically under, like, I mean, the majority of people were on this like a universal healthcare program, like the government basically paying for that for them, and they were using these hospitals in the rural region or like the small hospitals across the country were on this universal healthcare program. So like we wanted our AI to be accessible to everybody. So that means every hospital, whether it's for the rich or the poor. So that's part of it. So we developed the AI service and we put it on cloud for affordability and and push towards launch. So it's been since 2018, so it'll be roughly 3 years of working on this. Like this timeline started 2020, but in 2021, we become a team of 24, and now our AI is deployed in over 100 hospitals in Thailand. So it's still in the early days, I would say, despite all these milestones that we have achieved. We recently raised funds, so we closed a round, and we're still going strong and scaling. So hopefully, yeah, the next year and the next year, hopefully there will be more progress to show. Yeah.
So when you say 100 hospitals, can you share briefly, like, how your AI impact the hospitals' diagnostics and helping patients?
Yeah, the key thing is like I think the best demonstration is the recent COVID-19 crisis, where there are thousands and thousands of images each day in each hospital because people go there to screen and they wanted to know the severity of the COVID infection. So in that case, the hospital is flooded with demands for diagnostics. And there's really not very much many radiologists to read those films and be able to output accurate diagnostics. So with the AI, what it does is to double the productivity of a single radiologist. You should be able to read maybe 100 images. They will be able to read 200 images using AI. So that's how we helped. And the fact that we managed to get to 100 sites pretty quickly is because there's a severe shortage of radiologists during COVID-19, and they use our technology to help them.
Wow, that's very relevant. And instead of double, is there a chance to improve the productivity, like maybe 300? I mean, say like 3 times. Is there a barrier to that?
Yes, well, we would like to bypass the radiologists, like work for them, right? But no, like, but actually this is a very undersupply market. So actually I would say maybe half of the images that been taken, like if you screen for, you go to for a health screening every year and you take an X-ray machine, take chest X-ray images, I would say that maybe half of that will just glance over and not even fully considered, fully diagnosed, right? So so this AI is bridging the gap. So instead of having an expert just glance over your image, but the AI will pay whole attention to your image and hopefully be able to detect if something was wrong. It will be able to alert and prioritize and look, asking the expert to take another look at your X-ray. So hopefully that will help with the early detection of diseases like cancers.
So you're not replacing the radiologist, you are assisting the radiologist to improve the radiologist productivity.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there one day we're going to get rid of the radiologist?
Well, yeah, no, let's not do that. They still need it.
We keep people. So yeah. Cobot. Excellent. Many thanks, Ja.
Yep.
Our youth leader. So I think is the youngest here. So, so was our intern earlier, right? Now you're a rock star now. You're going out there and building robots and changing the world of manufacturing. And so actually, is also a former master degree student of PREL. So we're in the same family. Same. All right, so let's hear your story.
Okay, please, I will share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, does everyone see my PowerPoint?
Yep, we see it.
Yeah, hello, my name is I'm from FIBO, is master degree of robotics, and now I'm just a startup company called Robotics. Now we locate at Phuthabusha 39.
Neighbors. We're also neighbors.
you can type Robotics in Google Maps. It will show you how to go here. Robotics start with 4 members. We are master degree from FIBO, of us. I am one of the 4 of co-founder here. So now Robotics, we call ourselves now as a system integrator. Now we focus on industrial project, and now we got certificate from Center of Robotic Excellence from TGI, and we are a member of TALA called as a Thai Automation and Robotic Association. So we have more standard to get more trust for our customer. And next, I will show, this is an robotic workshop now.
Whoa, is it in your, in 39?
Yes,
No.
I take this photo this morning to show everyone.
You upgraded your workshop.
Yes. So we have many projects here, and we are very busy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And this is an robotic team. Now we scalable and have more members.
Wow.
Most
Are they
of us,
all FIBO graduates?
yes. All of member now are from KMUTT.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
and we have 4 trainees from KMUTT. So
excellent.
come from mechanical engineering and FIBO.
Excellent.
This is an example of our project. I can show you guys. This is an automation machine used for cutting and drilling plastic. And next is a ultrasonic welding machine. Most of our job now is like this. So we make a standalone machine and serve to our customer. Most of customer now we are in automotive, plastic part. And next, this is example for cleaning machine, like use ionizer air blow for cleaning plastic cap. It's used for when you touch bud and you like to mouth.
The
Mouthwash.
mouthwash.
Yes. And next, we can part machining and make to order for our customer, and also can make animation and simulation of our project to show concept design like this for presentation.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes, like this. And next example is a station for support production line for get more convenience for operator in the industrial line to help them. And next is a example for our robotics project. This is a robot for transfer part between CNC machine and robot for cutting plastic. So now I have a YouTube channel. You can see more our video and project. You can type and robotic and in YouTube.
Oh, subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe, right? Subscribe to N Robotic channel.
Please subscribe. Yeah, so we have many robotics project now, and like this, we use a QR code scan for select model welding with ABB robot. And robot simulation for let the customer know cycle time and robotic part movement, like that. And electronic circuit, we can make a PLC controller and operation touchscreen for customer to use bit easier. And we also have a training course for customer that they don't have experience to use robot. We can teach them how to use robot and how to operate and basic coding.
Excellent. Wow. Value added services.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Next is this is like our project that we developed from thesis project from one of member at Robotic. We are develop it to sell and need to launch this project to sell in the market. It's called SolarBot, solar panel cleaning robot. We use it in solar farm and now we test in more 10 solar farm now. We got comment feedback and develop more new version to now we are closer to launch this product to the market now.
Wow. You're ready.
Yes,
You guys are ready now.
Yes.
You solved the cleaning problem.
Yes. Last year we go to Asia in Clean Energy Forum with Steam to promote our solar bot at ADB.
Yes.
Yeah, with 11.
That's 2 years ago. That's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The COVID, we have stopped, we're like, we forgot about the COVID, right? 2020.
And next we try to develop AGV automotive with operate with lost robot operating system, use SLAM and LiDAR to navigate.
Nice. Car cleaner. Oh, we can get one of these.
And this is our customer reference now.
Brilliant. Right. Oh, I like to have those cleaning robots. Can you start selling cleaning robots for us so we don't have to hire a helper?
Yeah, I need one too.
All right. Excellent. Well, brilliant. You've grown so much now. So I haven't seen you for a year or so. You've got all these customers. Amazing. Hitachi Chemical too. Wow. Not just Thai companies, right?
Yes.
It's amazing. Excellent. Brilliant. Well, brilliant. This is all very brilliant sharing, folks. Now, because most of our audience are Thai, so I'll let Noon Jeriyapon to moderate in Thai. So looks like I think a lot of our audience here, trainees here, prefer to speak in Thai, so they can feel a bit more relaxed. Okay, Noon, over to you.
Yes.
So you go ahead. We have about 20 minutes or 15 minutes.
ก็ขอบคุณบริษัททั้ง3บริษัทมากนะคะนี่ก็เป็นนุ่นจริยาพรค่ะจะมาดูในช่วงคำถามต่อไปอะค่ะคำถามแรกเลยอะค่ะก็คือทั้ง3บริษัทอะค่ะที่เป็น Deeptech อะค่ะจะมีทิศทางในการดำเนินธุรกิจอย่างไรต่อไปค่ะพี่อาร์มก่อนก็ได้ค่ะ
เอาผมก่อนนะครับ ก็ตอนเนี้ยครับงานของลูกค้าส่วนใหญ่ตอนเนี้ยครับก็จะมีความยากเข้ามามากขึ้นเรื่อยๆครับเนื่องจากว่าตอนนี้เนื่องจากสถานการณ์โควิดด้วยครับทำให้โรงงานหลายๆที่ครับเขาตระหนักถึงการนำเครื่องออโตเมชันแล้วก็ระบบหุ่นยนต์นะครับเข้ามาทดแทนการใช้แรงงานคนนะครับทีนี้ก็งานหลายๆอย่างที่ตอนนี้คนทำได้เขาก็ต้องการให้หุ่นยนต์ทำได้เหมือนกันก็จะมีโจทย์เข้ามายากมากขึ้นเรื่อยๆครับทางแอนเองเนี่ยก็ได้เตรียมบุคลากรนะครับแล้วก็ต้องเหมือนกับเราพยายามที่จะเรียนรู้สิ่งใหม่ๆพัฒนาเทคโนโลยีอยู่ตลอดเวลาครับเพื่อที่เราจะต้องรองรับความต้องการของลูกค้าครับอย่างตัวอย่างล่าสุดนะครับก็จะเป็นอย่างโปรเจกต์เราใช้ Vision System ครับในการตรวจจับชิ้นงานนะครับ ซึ่ง Vision System ที่แบบเราใช้ตรวจจับชิ้นงานพวกเช็ครอยดีเฟกต์เช็ค OKNG พวกเนี้ยครับเขาก็จะมีแบรนด์มาตรฐานอยู่แล้วเช่นพวกเคียนคอกเน็กโอมรอนพวกเนี้ยครับทีเนี้ยพอมีลูกค้าใหม่ๆมาเนี่ยเขาก็ต้องการจะลดต้นทุนโดยที่ไม่ต้องการใช้แบรนด์ที่มีราคาสูงในปัจจุบันนะครับทางแอนเองเนี่ยก็เลยต้องมีการ develop แล้วก็คิดค้น Vision System ของตัวเองขึ้นมาครับก็จะมีทีมงานในแอนเนี่ยครับนำ AI เข้ามาช่วยหรือว่าเขียนโปรแกรมแล้วก็คอนโทรลเลอร์เองเพื่อที่จะพัฒนาเป็นแอนวิชั่นขึ้นมาครับเพื่อที่จะรองรับความต้องการของลูกค้าครับรวมถึงพวกโรบอทด้วยครับเราก็จะมีการพัฒนาแล้วก็สร้างโรบอทขึ้นมาใหม่ๆอีกในอนาคตนะครับประมาณนี้ครับ
ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะสำหรับอาจารย์แพรวแล้วก็อาจารย์จ๋ามีเพิ่มเติมไหมคะ
เชิญพี่แพรวก่อนเลยค่ะ
กำลังลุ้นว่าใครจะพูดก่อนจะได้ไม่พูด ก็สำหรับยานิกเองก็คือเราก็พยายามที่จะพัฒนาเทคโนโลยีใหม่ๆนะคะเพราะว่าจากโควิดเนี่ยที่เกิดขึ้นอ่ะมันก็เราก็ได้รับประสบการณ์โดยตรงนะว่าในเคสที่ว่าตอนที่ลูกค้าหดหายเนี่ยมันก็ลำบากเหมือนกันในการที่จะ maintain บริษัทที่มีขนาดใหญ่ก็เลยทำให้เราพยายาม push productivity ให้มากขึ้นโดยการใช้เทคโนโลยีใหม่ๆมาช่วยนะคะเพื่อให้พนักงานเราทำงานได้เขาเรียกว่าง่ายแล้วก็เร็วขึ้นแล้วก็แม่นยำขึ้นนะคะตอนนี้ก็ลง research and development ในหลายเรื่องนะทั้งที่เป็นเรื่องของแบบ AI human computer interface แล้วก็เรื่องอื่นๆเพื่อที่จะ customize ให้ process ของเรามันคล่องตัวแล้วก็สามารถทำงานยากๆที่ลูกค้าส่งให้มาได้แม้ว่าเราจะอยู่ที่ประเทศไทยซึ่งห่างไกลกับเขาอะไรเงี้ยค่ะก็อันนี้ก็เป็น challenge ที่เราจะต้องพยายามถ้าเราไม่ต้องเพิ่มคนมากๆแล้วก็ใส่เทคโนโลยีเข้าไปทำยังไงที่เราจะแข่งขันในระดับโลกได้ค่ะ
ค่ะ
ค่ะคือในส่วนของ Perceptra คือเราเป็น product focus company ตั้งแต่แรกเนาะก็คือเราเริ่มจากการพัฒนา product ก่อนก็เลยในช่วงนี้ค่ะหลังจากที่เรามี product 1 ตัวที่มันเหมือนออกลอนช์ออกไปแล้วเนี่ยก็ทิศทางต่อไปก็คือ scale ค่ะก็อย่างที่เล่าให้ฟังว่าอย่างทุกวันนี้เรามีโรงพยาบาลที่เริ่มเข้ามาใช้เทคโนโลยีกันมากขึ้นเนาะถ้าดูจากในมุมของลูกค้าเนี่ยก็คือช่วงของโควิด -19 เป็นอะไรที่กลับกันคือของเรายุ่งที่สุดเลยเพราะว่าโรงพยาบาลต่างค้นหาโซลูชันของ AI เนาะเพื่อมาช่วยลดงานที่มันล้นนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นช่วงเราก็เลยได้รับการบูสต์ขึ้นเยอะเลยจากเขาเรียกว่า awareness แล้วก็demand ที่จะ adopt AI เนาะก็ถูก accelerate ขึ้นมาเนี่ยค่ะก็ที่ผ่านมาเราก็deliver กันอุตลุดแล้วก็สิ่งหนึ่งที่เราก็ได้เห็นภาพของการ scale เนาะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของ cost คือแบบทำยังไงให้โซลูชันนี้มัน cost ต่ำลงนะคะเรื่องของ team service ที่เราอาจจะยังไม่เคยมีประสบการณ์ที่จะแบบว่าเสิร์ฟลูกค้าจำนวนมากๆเราต้องส่งทีม service ออกไปของเราเป็นซอฟต์แวร์เนาะซึ่งก็ยังต้องใช้ทีม service ในการที่จะแบบปรับปรุง customize ให้มันเข้ากับระบบด้วยความที่ตัวแอปพลิเคชันมันต้องไปเป็น AI ก็จริงต้องไปเชื่อมต่อกับ legacy system ของโรงพยาบาลนะคะนั่นก็เป็นส่วนหนึ่งแล้วก็เราก็มีเรื่องของปรับปรุงในเรื่องของ security ด้วยเนาะอย่างที่เจอข่าวใน healthcare หลายท่านอาจจะได้ยินในเรื่องของ ransomware ที่เกิดขึ้นเนาะทำให้หลายโรงพยาบาลก็เกิดความตื่นตัวค่ะเรื่อง security เนาะproduct ของเราก็ต้องมีการยกระดับปรับปรุงเนาะทำตัวเองให้ได้มาตรฐาน standard ที่จะให้โรงพยาบาลทุกที่เชื่อใจแล้วก็หลักๆคือเป็นเรื่องของการสเกลค่ะขยายทีมด้วยแล้วก็ขยายฐานลูกค้าด้วยอันนี้เป็นทิศทางหลักๆค่ะ
ซึ่งตอนนี้ก็เรื่องส่วนใหญ่ก็จะเป็นเรื่องโควิดนะคะแต่เรื่องโควิดเนี่ยก็จะทำให้บางบริษัทเนี่ยเหมือนกับว่าต้องสเกลต้องเพิ่มการผลิตแต่บางบริษัทก็บางทีก็ลดลงเพราะฉะนั้นก็จะมีแนวทางในการแก้ปัญหาที่แตกต่างกันในแต่ละบริษัทค่ะ แล้วนุ่นอยากถามนิดนึงอะค่ะว่าสำหรับน้องๆเด็กๆอย่างเงี้ยค่ะหรืออาจจะไม่เด็กแล้วก็ได้ถ้าอยากจะเริ่มทำงานเกี่ยวกับ Deeptech อย่างเงี้ยเราจะต้องเริ่มจากอะไรคะคือต้องไปเรียนที่ฟีโบก่อนหรือว่าเราจะเริ่มยังไงดี
ตอบไม่ได้
ก็ต้องลงมือทำต้องลงมือทำก็คือจริงๆอันนึงที่อยากจะบอกทุกคนเลยก็คือว่าไม่ว่าตอนนี้เราจะอยู่ในช่วงไหนของชีวิตนะคะถ้าเราจะคิดว่าอยากจะทำอะไรอ่ะให้ลงมือทำไปเลยไม่ต้องกลัวเพราะว่า failing มันก็ทุกคนมันต้องผ่านแบบความล้มเหลวกันมาทั้งนั้นแหละเพราะฉะนั้นความล้มเหลวมันไม่ใช่เรื่องที่เราต้องกลัวมันเป็นเรื่องของการสร้างประสบการณ์ให้ตัวเองมากกว่าเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าเรายิ่งลงมือทำเร็วอะเราจะยิ่งเข้าใจปัญหานั้นเร็วขึ้นแล้วเราก็จะมองเห็นจุดแข็งและจุดอ่อนของตัวเองนะคะเราจะเริ่มเข้าใจว่าเราเก่งอะไรเราคิดว่าเราจะสามารถมีไอเดียที่ดีทางด้านไหนเอาไป apply ได้หรือว่า customer จริงๆเป็นยังไงเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าเรานั่งอยู่ในห้องแล้วไม่ออกไปคุยกับลูกค้าเราก็ไม่เก็ตหรอกว่าจริงๆแล้วปัญหาของการใช้งานของ product เราจะเป็นยังไงแล้วก็ปัญหาที่เขาเรียกว่า market segment ที่เหลืออยู่ในโลกเป็นยังไงถ้าเราจะขยายธุรกิจเพราะฉะนั้นสุดท้ายเราก็ต้องลงมือทำนะคะต้องถ้าภาษาไทยก็คือต้องให้รีบมือเปื้อนนิดนึงแล้วก็ปรับพยายามที่จะถามตัวเองคือเช็คrecheck decision ต่างๆเรื่อยๆก็คือไม่ใช่ว่าก็ทำแบบพอทำก็ทำไปเรื่อยๆเลยก็คือทำแล้วก็ต้องมาถามตัวเองว่าทำแล้วมันมีข้อดีข้อเสียยังไงเราจะเดินไปทางนี้ต่อไหมเราจะขยายธุรกิจไปด้านนี้ไหมหรือว่าเราควรจะพอแค่นี้แล้วเปลี่ยนแนวทางอะไรแบบนี้เราก็ re-evaluate action ของเราอันนี้ก็เป็นเบสิกนะคะไม่ว่าเราอยากจะทำธุรกิจ Deeptech หรือไม่ก็ตามนะ
ค่ะโอเค
ถาม
อีก
ต่อ
2
ได้
ท่าน
ไหมครับ
มีอะไรเพิ่มไหมคะคะ
ถามต่อได้ไหมครับถาม
ได้
ให้น้องๆครับแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าน้องๆมีไอเดียแล้วอยากจะปรึกษาพี่ๆได้ไหมครับอยากไปปรึกษาอาจารย์อยากปรึกษาเพื่อนพี่ๆได้ไหมคือเขามีไอเดียแล้วบางทีอาจจะแบบหลายๆท่านก็มีแนวทางธุรกิจแต่มันจะเป็นแนวใหม่มาปรึกษาเผื่อว่าจะให้คำปรึกษาหรือไม่อาจจะ expand business ของพี่ๆอาจารย์ด้วยได้ไหมครับ
ยินดีค่ะ
ได้เลยครับ
คือจริงๆอะค่ะเราถ้าเราเริ่มธุรกิจอะเราต้องพยายามคุยกับคนที่มีประสบการณ์ให้มากที่สุดเท่าที่จะทำได้แต่การคุยเนี่ยเราก็ต้องวิเคราะห์ด้วยนะว่า situation ของเราตอนนี้มันอยู่ประมาณไหนแล้วคำแนะนำเขาอะมาจากคือแต่ละคนมีประสบการณ์แล้วก็เขาเรียกว่าผ่านเหตุการณ์ที่ต่างกันมาเพราะฉะนั้นเราก็คือต้องฟังแล้วเรียนรู้ก็คือพยายามที่จะเรียนรู้ไม่พยายามอย่าไป judgment ว่ามันผิดมันถูกอ่ะอันนี้ไม่รู้จะอธิบายยังไงดีนะก็คืออย่าไปบอกว่าเฮ้ยคนนี้ผิดคนนี้ถูกอะไรเงี้ยจริงๆไม่ใช่เรื่องนั้นคือเราควรจะ absorb เรื่องประสบการณ์ต่างๆที่เราได้ยินเข้ามาแล้วเราก็มาวิเคราะห์ว่าอะไรที่จะ apply กับ situation ของเราตอนนี้ที่เหมาะสมนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นตรงนี้เป็นเรื่องของการ analysis เลยอะว่าเราจะเชื่อหรือว่าเราจะ follow หรือไอเดียตรงไหนมันน่าสนใจแต่ว่าต้องคุยเยอะๆต้องฟังเยอะๆแล้วก็ consult หลายๆฟิลนะคะ
ครับโอ้ดีมากเลยครับอาจารย์
เพิ่มได้ไหม
เชิญเลยค่ะ
ค่ะอยากสอบถามว่าในมุมมองของ3ท่านนะคะที่มีประสบการณ์ด้าน AI และโรบอติกนะคะมีมุมมองอย่างไรบ้างคะว่ากับประเทศไทยเราเนี้ยค่ะในอนาคตนะคะว่า AI กับโรบอติกเนี่ยมันจะเข้ามีบทบาทเนี่ยเต็มที่นี้ประมาณสักกี่ปีอะในมุมมอง3ท่านนะ
สำหรับจ๋าคิดว่าวันนี้มีแล้วค่ะ วันนี้เรียกว่ามี impact มี demand แล้วก็คือถ้าเรามองในมุมของธุรกิจอะต้องบอกว่าคือตอนนี้ความ awareness มันมาเต็มแล้วเนาะจริงๆถ้าพูดถึงแค่สาย AI อย่างเดียวอะอาจจะแอบสายไปด้วยซึ่งหมายถึงว่ามันก็เริ่มเพราะมันได้เริ่ม demand มันได้เริ่มเพิ่มขึ้นแล้วเนาะแต่ว่าถ้าเราดูในแง่ของไซเคิลของธุรกิจซึ่งมันจะมีแบบเป็นอย่างเขาจะมีโมเดลของ S curve ใช่ไหมคะก็ถ้าสมมติอย่างเรามองมันก็ต้องแล้วแต่อินดัสทรีด้วยเนาะ ถ้าดูอย่าง Industry Finance เนี่ยก็คือแทบจะเรียกว่าทุกเจ้าก็คือจะมีทีม Machine Learning AI เป็นของตัวเองด้วยซ้ำนะคะIndustry อย่างเช่นพวกAgriculture หรือการแพทย์อย่างเงี้ยก็จะเป็น slow industry ที่ถ้าเราดูในเทรนด์ทั่วไปเนี่ยก็คือเริ่มมีการ adopt ใช้เหมือนเป็น early adopter ละแล้วจริงๆถ้าดูจาก Perceptra เองเนี่ยเราไปถึง100 ไซต์เลยเนี่ยก็คือมันก็เรียกว่ามันเกือบจะแบบ majority เกือบจะขาดรับกับอันนี้แล้วซึ่งอันนี้ค่ะคือเราต้องเข้าไปดูใน industry นั้นนะคะว่ามัน penetrate ไปขนาดไหนแล้วก็มันยังมี gap อะไรบ้างที่จะเอาโจทย์เอา AI เข้าไปช่วยอันนี้อาจจะมองเป็น industry specific ได้ด้วยค่ะ
อย่างนั้นถ้าเป็นการสนับสนุนจากภาครัฐบาลนะคะตอนนี้เหมือนคิดว่าลงมากับเราสักกี่เปอร์เซ็นต์ได้คะในมุมมองเราว่าแบบ100%หรือว่าสนับสนุนเต็มที่อย่างหรือว่าเราต้องวิ่งเองในเชิงฐานะเป็นคอมพานีอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
ภาครัฐจริงๆถ้าดูแค่ AI นะคะคือเยอะมากแล้วคือในปี2 ปีที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยลงไปหลายร้อยล้านถ้าเป็นโครงการเนาะแต่ทีนี้ก็จริงๆแล้วเรื่องความสนับสนุนในเมืองไทยจริงๆมันมีเยอะมากเลยนะคะคือจริงๆแล้วถ้าในมุมของจ่าเนาะซึ่งมีทั้งการแบบเราไป raise fund ทั้งถึงเรื่องของ investment แล้วก็จริงๆคนที่ invest ในเรามีภาครัฐด้วยนะคะที่เป็นinvestor เนาะซึ่งจริงๆแล้วมันมีดีมานด์เยอะมากเลยนะคะที่จะลงทุนแล้วจริงๆตลาดไทยซัพพลายสตาร์ทอัพที่มีคุณภาพมีไม่พอกับซึ่งจริงๆมันคือคิดว่ามันเป็นไซเคิลด้วยมันเป็นเรียกว่าอะไรดีเป็นลักษณะของบ้านเราแล้วแหละที่แบบว่าที่ตอนแรกถ้าเราจะมองกลับไปประมาณ 2-3 ปีที่แล้วเนี่ยโอ้โหมีอินเวสเตอร์เข้ามามากมายเลยนะคะแล้วก็ตอนนี้ตลาดสตาร์ทอัพมันดรายไปจริงๆแล้วมันขาดซัพพลายค่ะเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าใครยังมีไฟเนาะแล้วก็อยากจะสตาร์ทอัพนะคะคิดว่าการสนับสนุนยังมีอีกเยอะค่ะแล้วก็กำลังรอคนเก่งค่ะที่จะก้าวหน้าต่อไปค่ะ
งั้นถามนะคะถ้าเกิดต้องการจะสร้างกำลังคนด้านนี้ขึ้นมาเนี่ยมีที่ไหนที่แนะนำให้แบบเรียนแบ็กกราวด์พื้นฐานก่อนไหมแต่ถ้าเกิดกับเรียนแบ็กกราวด์พื้นฐานแบบเพื่อความแม่นด้านนี้ต้องเรียนด้านอะไรอะคะถึงจะต้องเข้าไปถึงตรงจุดนั้นได้ถ้าเป็นหมอเนี่ยไปทำ AI ได้ไหมคะหรือว่าถ้าเป็นวิศวกรแล้วก็อาจจะไปทำด้านของตัวเขียนโคดดิ้งได้ไหมอะไรอย่างเงี้ยหรือว่าเป็นคณะเป็นเภสัชอย่างเงี้ยทำได้ไหมอย่างเงี้ยค่ะนี่คือแนะนำไว้ว่าจะสมควรจะเริ่มต้นสตาร์ทแบบตรงไหนเพื่อจะ go to ได้เร็วขึ้นนะคะถ้าเกิดหมอเองมาทำ AI มันก็จะช้าใช่ไหมคะต้องมาเรียนรู้เลยมันก็จะทำไม่ได้ต้องไปจ้างคนอื่นมาทำ
โอ้ไม่จริงค่ะไม่จริงค่ะจริงๆเดี๋ยวนี้มันมี tool แล้วก็มีในคลาสออนไลน์เยอะมากเลยนะเพราะฉะนั้นลูกศิษย์ของอาจารย์จริงๆก็เปิดสอนทางหมอทั้งกลุ่มศิริราชรามาเนี่ยค่ะปรากฏหมอเก่งกว่าวิศวะอีกจริงๆแล้ว Python programming คือแบบอย่าไปคิดว่าเฮ้ยเราจบหมอมาแล้วทำไม่ได้จริงๆไม่ใช่เลยแบบว่าหมอลอจิกแม่นมากเพราะฉะนั้นencourage เลยค่ะไม่ว่าหมอเภสัชแล้วจริงๆเนี่ยมันมี tool เยอะมันมีทั้งเรื่องของการใช้แพลตฟอร์ม tool ใหม่ๆแล้วก็มีเรื่องของคลาสที่เป็นออนไลน์แบบเป็นฟรีคลาสเพราะฉะนั้นตอนนี้มันเป็นยุคแห่งแบบว่าใครอยากรู้อะไรเรียนรู้ได้หมดอะค่ะอย่างเดียวก็คือตัวเราที่เราจะต้อง evaluate ว่าเราจะให้น้ำหนักกับการเรียนรู้ในเรื่องไหนก่อนหลังเพราะว่าเราเองคนหนึ่งมีเวลา24 ชั่วโมงอะค่ะสมมุติว่าเราทำงานด้านหนึ่งเนี่ยมันไม่ได้หมายความว่าเฮ้ยยูต้องเลิกทำไอ้นี่แล้วก็ไปเรียนรู้เรื่องใหม่มันไม่ใช่แบบนั้นมันเป็นการบาลานซ์ว่าเราต้องการรู้อะไรอย่างเช่นถ้าเราเป็นแบบเขาเรียกว่าไม่ได้เต็มตัวที่จะเป็นเอนจิเนียร์อย่างเงี้ยบางทีมันก็อาจจะเริ่มจากการ take course ที่เป็นพวก data analytics ก่อนเพราะว่าเราสามารถเข้าใจง่ายการวิเคราะห์ data เข้าใจ statistics ลองเขียนโปรแกรมง่ายๆดูหลังจากนั้นถ้าติดใจอยากจะได้ลึกไปเป็น automation robotics อะไรค่อยลงลึกไปเพราะฉะนั้น entry point มันอาจจะแตกต่างกันสำหรับแต่ละคนแต่อาจารย์อยากบอกเลยค่ะว่าเรียนรู้ได้หมดเพราะว่าอาจารย์เองเนี่ยจบไฟฟ้ามาแต่ว่าเรียกได้ว่าทุกอย่างที่ทำมาหากินในชีวิตอยู่ตอนนี้ก็คือเรียนรู้เองแบบเยอะมากคือทั้งแบบลองทำแล้วก็เรียนจากลูกศิษย์ด้วยนะลูกศิษย์เนี่ยอย่างตอนนี้ลูกศิษย์ก็เก่งกว่าไปเยอะแยะหลายคนก็คือเราต้องเปิดใจไม่ใช่ว่าเราบอกว่าเอ้ยเราเคยแบบเก๋าทางด้านนี้มาเรา ต้องเป็นเลิศจริงๆไม่ใช่เทคโนโลยีเปลี่ยนเร็วมากเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องรับฟังตลอดเลยว่าเฮ้ยคนนี้ก็ทำอะไรใหม่แล้วมันมีข้อดียังไงข้อเสียยังไงนะคะอันนี้ก็อยากจะ encourage ทุกคนนะว่าอย่ากลัวเลยเรียนรู้เข้าไปเถอะแล้วไม่เสียตังค์ด้วยเดี๋ยวนี้ฟรีทั้งนั้นเลยก็ดู YouTube แล้วก็มีคอร์สออนไลน์แบบเยอะแยะ Open แบบคือเราสามารถนั่งเรียนที่ MIT ได้อะซึ่งอาจารย์แบบโอ้โหโคตรฟินอะคือนั่งแบบอยู่บ้านแล้วฉันก็นั่งดูเลคเชอร์ที่ MIT อะคือแบบไม่ต้องลงเรียน ดีจะตายค่ะ
เสริม
ขอบคุณ
ได้ไห
มาก
รับ
นะคะขอบคุณมากนะคะ
เสริมนิดนึงครับจริงๆผมว่าหมอเนี่ยผมก็คุยกับหมอนะตอนช่วงโควิด -19 ใหม่ๆเมื่อต้นปี20เลยล่ะมีเพื่อนเป็นหมอเป็น radiologist เหมือนกันเลยอยู่โรงพยาบาลชั้นนำของไทยเป็นแบบเกือบจะ head department ละแต่ willingness ที่เขาจะแจมผมบอกเฮ้ยเดี๋ยวผมจะมาช่วยหาคนทำ AI ให้ไหมดูเนี่ยไอตัวฟิล์มยูเขาบอกว่ามันมีปัญหาเรื่องเขาก็กลัวปัญหาเรื่อง privacy ของเนี่ยอาจารย์จ๋าโชคดีจังไปเจอคนทุกคนนะขนาดผมเนี่ยโรงพยาบาลแบบใกล้มากเพื่อนสนิทเรียนกันมายังกลัวคือ willingness ต่างหากผมว่า willingness หมอเนี่ยขาดอย่างเดียวมีเพื่อนอยู่ผมมีเพื่อนเป็น10นะแต่ว่าไม่มีใครสนใจที่จะมาทำ AI คือเขาอาจจะไม่เชื่อว่ามันทำได้หรือเปล่าอันนี้ที่ผมไม่แน่ใจว่าทำไมหมอไม่สนใจไม่รู้เหมือนกันนะงงเหมือนกันเราก็งงนั้น willingness สำคัญที่สุดคือถ้าเกิดว่ามี willing เนี่ยเดี๋ยวผมว่ารังสรรค์ให้ได้ผมเชื่อนะผมเชื่อก็เรื่องเดียวครับอย่าเพิ่งกลัวแล้วก็แน่นอนอย่างที่อาจารย์จ๋าพูดว่ามันซัพพลายเออร์เนี่ยคือเราก็อาจอย่างที่อาจารย์พี่แพรพูดด้วยว่าเราไม่ได้เกิดมาสำหรับตอนที่10 ปี20 ปีที่แล้วมันไม่มีแบบนี้แต่เรา willing ที่จะเรียนแล้วก็จะช่วยสังคมได้อันนี้ผมว่าทางแม้ว่ามหาวิทยาลัยก็ตามเนี่ยก็ willing ที่จะช่วยนะฮะแต่มันก็ต้องเรียนรู้ไปด้วยกันเราไม่ได้เรียนมาเพื่อแบบมานั่ง analyze image โดยตรงเนาะแต่ว่าถ้าเกิดมันถึงเวลาที่จะต้องทำเดี๋ยวเราปรับความรู้ของเราเนี่ยมา speed up ไอ้เรื่องพวกนี้ให้ได้อย่างนี้เป็นต้นครับขอบคุณครับ
มีคำถามเพิ่มเติมค่ะจากคนในกลุ่มค่ะชื่อว่าธนกรเชิญเลยค่ะ
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ทั้ง3 ท่านพอดีช่วงนี้เนาะมันเป็นกระแสนะครับเรื่องเกี่ยวกับ Metaverse ต่างๆนะครับทีนี้เนี่ยเลยอยากจะถามทั้ง3 ท่านว่ามีแนวคิดหรือเตรียมไอเดียไว้ยังไงกับการรับมือ Metaverse ที่จะเข้ามาเร็วๆนี้ครับ
ไม่ต้องทำอะไร
เดี๋ยวนะขอตอบหน่อยเพราะว่าจริงๆอาจารย์เรียนจบมาทางด้านนี้เลยค่ะเมื่อ20 ปีก่อน ก็คือเรื่องเกี่ยวกับ VR AR แล้วก็แบบอะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็คือ Metaverse จริงๆมันเป็นคอนเซ็ปต์ที่มีมาโบราณกาลแล้วนะมันไม่ใช่เรื่องใหม่อะไรแต่ว่าตอนนี้มันเป็นเขาเรียกว่าคนเกิดการ aware เทคโนโลยีมัน catch up แล้วก็ราคาเขาเรียกว่าไอ้ commercialized product มันมีเยอะขึ้นเพราะฉะนั้นมันเอื้อมถึงทำให้ในคอนเซปต์เนี้ยจริงๆแล้วคือถามว่าถ้าเราสนใจจริงๆมันมีอะไรให้ทำเยอะมากคือเราสามารถเขาเรียกว่า conceive ธุรกิจใหม่ๆได้นะคะอย่างเช่นในธุรกิจอาจารย์เองปัจจุบันเนี่ยนะอย่าง Yanix เนี่ยแม้ถ้าถามว่าเอ้ยอย่างเงี้ย Metaverse มันจะเกี่ยวข้องอะไรไหมจริงๆเราก็สามารถที่จะเขาเรียกว่า re-engineering ไอ้ตัวเทคนิคของเราให้มันทำการ scanning แล้วทำ 3D reconstruction โลกจริงเพื่อสามารถเลือกได้เลยว่าให้เข้าไปอยู่ในโลกเสมือนหน้าตาแบบเนี้ยโดยที่มี geometry เหมือนจริงอะไรแบบนี้พวกนี้มันทำได้เป็นธุรกิจเพราะฉะนั้นเราอาจจะบอกว่าให้ถ้าเกิดคนเขาจ้างมาทำบอกว่าให้อยากจะเดินทัวร์วัดพระแก้วอะไรเงี้ยแบบเรียลไทม์แบบเหมือนกับสมจริงมากเราก็ทำได้ถ้าเราเข้าใจเทคโนโลยีก็เลยเป็น opportunity นะแต่ว่าถ้าเราไม่สนใจจริงๆก็อย่างที่อาจารย์ชาลีบอกก็ปล่อยมันไปไม่เป็นไรหรอก
คือที่บอกว่า Metaverse เนี่ยไม่ได้บอกว่าไม่ได้ทำอะไรแต่ว่าเราอย่าไปสนใจ company เราสนใจคอนเซปต์อย่างที่อาจารย์พี่แพรวบอกว่าคอนเซปต์มันเอาไปทำอะไรแต่ไอตัว company Facebook มันจะเปลี่ยนเป็น Metaverse ก็ช่างเขาแต่ไอตัวเทคโนโลยีที่เราจะมา make use of อันนั้นสำคัญกว่าครับก็เลยบอกว่าถ้า Metaverse ผมเฉยๆก็เขาก็แค่เปลี่ยนชื่อเพราะว่า Facebook มัน infamous ไปละแย่ไปละอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับก็แค่นั้นเองนะแค่นั้นนะครับความหมายของผมนะไม่ใช่แบบว่า
สำหรับอย่างธุรกิจแขนกลเนี่ยฮะของคุณของแอนเนี่ยครับมีมีแนวคิดจะรับมือยังไงกับเรื่องประมาณนี้บ้างครับ
ถ้าเรื่อง Metaverse อะครับผมมองว่าธุรกิจแอนโรบอติกเองตอนนี้ไม่ค่อยเกี่ยวข้องนะครับแล้วทางเราก็ไม่ได้เหมือนกับมีความถนัดหรือว่ามีเทคโนโลยีที่ใกล้เคียงที่จะไปร่วมได้ครับถ้าในมุมมอง
ขอแทรกยังมองไม่เห็นจริงๆธุรกิจอยู่ตรงหน้าเลยอ่ะคือตอนนี้เรามี simulation เพราะฉะนั้นจากไอ้ตัว plan simulation อ่ะจริงๆแล้วมันก็คือมันจะทำให้เกิดเป็นแบบ virtual production ก็คือเราสามารถเห็นรายการผลิตแล้วก็สามารถเอา IoT device อะไปติดที่ machine อะ automation ทั้งหมดอะแล้วก็เอา data display real time เพราะฉะนั้นคอนเซ็ปต์ของการใช้ IoT หรือว่าแม้แต่ Industry 4.0 นะคะจริงๆแล้วอ่ะเราสามารถทำให้เป็น virtual manufacturing ได้ทั้งหมดเพราะฉะนั้นตรงนี้มันเป็น opportunity เลยนะไหนๆเราลงทุนซื้อ license SolidWorks มาแล้วอ่ะเพราะฉะนั้นเราสามารถต่อไอ้ระบบเนี้ยถ้าเกิดลูกค้าต้องการอ่ะมันทำได้เลยเพราะเรามี building block ทุกอย่างอยู่แล้ว
ถ้าเป็นตัวอย่างงานพวก AR VR เนี่ยครับเคยมีลูกค้าเข้ามาติดต่อเหมือนกันนะครับเป็นแบบต้องการทำระบบ simulation สำหรับจำลองการประกอบงานนะครับให้พนักงานเขาฝึกประกอบในโลกเสมือนที่จะไปประกอบ
ตรงนั้นส่วนใหญ่จะเป็นแบบในอดีตอีกหน่อยจะมีแบบว่าเราสามารถที่จะเดินดู virtual manufacturing floor ได้เลยอ่ะแล้วมันก็จะมองเห็นเลยว่า status ของ machine น่ะเป็นยังไงการผลิต data การผลิตสามารถแบบมองแล้วก็เขาเรียกว่าดูค่าได้เลยอ่ะใน virtual environment ซึ่งทำได้แต่ว่าแค่ว่าจะมีคนลงทุนอยากทำขนาดไหนอันนี้ไม่แน่ใจ
ก็กำลังจะเสริมพูดประเด็นเดียวกับพี่แพรวครับว่าเวลาที่เรามองธุรกิจอ่ะบางทีเราอยากช่วย SME นะแต่ว่า SME สายป่านน้อยเขาอาจจะไม่ลงทุนในบางธุรกิจที่อย่างถ้าเกิดจะเห็นเนี่ยถ้าเกิดอย่างที่อาจารย์พูดเนี่ยก็คืออย่างพวกปิโตรเคมอ่ะที่เซฟตี้เยอะๆอ่ะอาจจะสนใจอย่างนี้เป็นต้นแต่ว่าปิโตรเคมก็มีความยากคือทุกอย่างเป็นเหล็กหมดเลยเป็นโลหะหมดเลยบางทีมันจะติดนู่นติดนี่มันแล้วก็มี combustion แบบ flammable ไปหมดอ่ะติดไฟไปหมดบางทีติดอะไรต้องระมัดระวังนิดนึงอันนี้ก็เป็นความยากของมันแต่ว่าไอ้อย่างเงี้ยเป็นไปได้คือธุรกิจที่มันแพงหน่อยครับขอบคุณครับ
ครับสำหรับดร.จ๋าเองล่ะครับสำหรับตัวธุรกิจInceptica ใช่ไหมครับ
Inspectra ค่ะก็จริงๆก็คอนเฟิร์มก็น่าจะเห็นคล้ายๆพี่แพรวมันก็คือเป็นธุรกิจมันเรียกว่าเป็นเทรนด์ใหม่ของเทคโนโลยีแล้วก็ถ้าสิ่งที่มาร์ค ซักเคอร์เบิร์กคิดมันเป็นไปจริงๆก็คือคนไปสเปนไทม์ในเมตาเวิร์สมันก็เหมือนเป็นอีโคซิสเต็มใหม่เป็นโลกใหม่เหมือนเป็นอีโคซิสเต็มเป็นแพลตฟอร์มใหม่เนาะที่คนจะ get used to มากขึ้นจะมี adoption เพิ่มมากขึ้นเนาะเหมือนเปรียบกับอะไรดีอ่ะอาจจะเปรียบกับเหมือนมือถืออย่างเงี้ยนะสมาร์ทโฟนที่ได้รับการ adopt ใช้ก็เป็นแพลตฟอร์มใหม่ที่สามารถเข้าไปสร้าง value ได้ค่ะแต่เพราะฉะนั้นถ้าเรามองมันในมุมเนี้ยโอ้โหแบบอย่างการแพทย์เนี่ยก็ทำอะไรได้อีกหลายอย่างในเรื่องของการในโลกของaugmented reality อะไรพวกนี้ใช่ไหมเรายังทำอะไรได้อีกเยอะใน ecosystem นี้เนาะอย่างจริงๆแล้วมีบริษัทคนไทยที่ในซิลิคอนวัลลีย์ด้วยนะคะที่จริงๆเราถูกซื้อใน Facebook แต่ว่าสิ่งที่เขาทำก็คือเป็น advertising platform ที่ทำใน virtual reality เลยคือ advertising platform บน virtual reality เลยแล้วก็แค่เรื่องนี้ advertising ซึ่งแบบ advertising ในโลกดิจิตอลมันมีหลายบริษัทเต็มไปหมดเลยแต่เพียงแต่คุณบิดเอาแนวคิดนี้แล้วผสมเข้ากับ virtual reality idea เนี่ยโอ้ก็ exit ไปแล้วนะคะก็น่าจะมีไอเดียหลายๆอย่างเลยอะถ้าจะคิดในธีมของvirtual reality ค่ะ
ครับผมขอบคุณทุกท่านมากเลยครับ